YouTube, this is Daniel, and today's the day. We got two packages. This right here is a DVD drive and a USB header extender, and this is the case. So I'm going to save this package for another video, so I'm going to set that right here on my desk chair. And this is the star of today's show. This is the Aerocool Micro ATX green case from, it's a green Micro ATX case. It can also fit my mITX. And well, as I upload this video and make this video, this is probably the first unboxing in English. All the other ones I've seen of this specific case have been in Dutch or some different language. And so this is going to be the first, I guess, as of when I make this video, the first English unboxing, spoken in English. So from the company I purchased it from, the case arrives in this plastic bag with the box as the bag. Arrived in this plastic bag. It's kind of beaten up from the sides, I guess, from shipping. So let me see if I can open this up. I guess I might have to tear it open. So, ripping it open. Set that right there. It's trash right now. So this is the case right here, and well, not really because it's in the box. This is the DS-Cube without the window. So the sticker is right here with that window, and this is the DS-Cube green version. Dead silent. I am very excited to open this. Let me make sure I'm capturing everything in the camera right now real quick, because don't want to be making this whole video and now knowing that it does not fit. So I'm going to move this right here a little so you guys can see. So yeah, this is the Aerocool case. It's in the box. It's shipped like this in the box, so basically this is the packaging box, which can be kind of unfortunate because it can get damaged for this box and shipping. It depends on whatever company you use. UPS shipped this one, so I hope they did it right. So looking on the side, it says case type. It says cube case. Material uses, I think, 0.8mm SGCC. Well, I don't know what that means. Motherboard supports micro ATX and mini ITX. Case dimensions: 411.3mm in height, 265 millimeters in width, and 381 millimeters in diameter. In depth. Sorry. Accessible. Drive bays uses 5 1/4 inch, one 5 1/4 inch drive, plus one 3.5 inch drive. Those are the drive bays on the front of the case. And for internals, the case supports two 3.5 inch hard drives, and also can be mounted in the 5 1/4 inch bay, and also be mounted in the bay where in the 3.5 inch bay, for where you normally put maybe a DVD drive or a floppy drive. And it also comes with, of those 3.5 inch hard drive bays can also support 2.5 inch hard drives or solid state drives. And there are two separate solid state drive bays for themselves. Right now the box has some issues. There's a big little hole right here, but that's alright. So this is the Dead Silence Aerocool. What else? It's the green model. I love green. Green's my favorite color. And this side is just, well, this side's just a bunch of information. So, I'm going to go ahead and open this up now. I got this package from California. So, it's literally across the world from here. So I'm going to probably speed up the video right now because, well, it's going to probably take a while to open it. Alrighty, after getting it open, right now I still have the poly styrofoam edges around it right now. It is taped around the, up here on the top, and right here it contains a little bubble bag full of the interchangeable mesh cover for the top and the manual for the case. Let me just move this tape right here and I'll get access to that bag. which I completely failed because I didn't pull the tape off correctly. Alright. So here's the bag. There's the manual, very thick. It's got a little bit of wear on it. This is a generic user manual, probably designed for all of their cases because it just says DS-Cube and DS-Cube window. So, yeah. And this is the interchangeable cover, the grill on it. Whoop. And, yeah. This is going to be my main case for my computer I'm using. And just so you know, this is just an unboxing, this is not a full review. You can find reviews of this case on the internet. Pretty much the only difference between the other cases that Aerocool makes of the Dead Silence Cube series is just the color. So you could watch reviews on like the black case, for example, and well, even though it's the black version, its specs still apply in the green case version. Alrighty. After we just went through that bag, let's go ahead and pull the our styrofoam stuff off of it. The case is upside down, but not to worry because I'll just flip it right over. I heard some noise in there, assuming that's just the cables. Alrighty. I do like the way this looks already. I didn't even pull it out of the bag yet, and I like the way it looks. So it looks like the opening's at the bottom of the case. Alrighty. It looked like that the case survived the shipping. I am very excited about this case, and here are the first impressions. The case looks great, and it obviously survived the shipping. It is very small, and the rubber coating, the alleged rubber coating on this thing, I do like the way it feels. I've certainly felt this feeling before on something else. I don't remember, but I do know that I had something else that had this similar material on it. And, well, you can't really see the case from here, so I'm going to pull my camera up even more. It's kind of stupid starting it way over there. Alrighty. So now you guys are looking at the top of the case. So the case comes with your microphone, headphone jack, microphone jack, hard drive indicator, a reset switch, and a power button, which I'm assuming has a little light in it because there's a black cutout part in the top, 2 USB 3 plugs, and 2 USB 2.0 plugs. I'm going to go ahead and switch out the top just to show you guys what that looks like. So pretty simple, you just take that and you kind of lift it off, but you need to, I guess you might have to open the top bezel. There we go. So you just lifts off like that. Let me see if I can get that little thing out so I can change. Oh, that was pretty simple. You just pop the little lock out. So you just set that aside, put that away, and then you just put this right here, and you put the switch back in, and then just pop it right back in there. And that's the mesh on it. Mesh is nice, completely thin. You can't even tell it's not part of the case. But other than this little switch, I'm going to be using this mesh for for exhaust for the fans that I'm having here. So it looks like that the control buttons have a little plastic sheet on them, including this part. There's a little plastic thing on it to, I guess, for protection. Let me pull this out again. I'm going to go ahead and, whoopsie, I just popped that switch right out, which stinks. I'm going to switch this thing back over because I'm going to put it back in the box. Even though I have the case, I'm still far from finished with this project. I guess I should leave it off because, well, I am going to be showcasing more of the front. So it looks like to me that the front accepts two fans, As I saw the pictures on the website, the back fan can accept the 140 millimeters, and the front part right here can accept 120 with the fan sticking out and sticking inward inside the case. It can accept dual 140 fans, like 140 millimeter right here and 140 millimeter right here. This would work best if you remove that case right here, the hard drive, the disk drive case. I'm sorry, the 5 1/4 inch bay, and it can also accept two 120 millimeter fans on both slots when it's underneath right here. But sticking above, it can accept 120 millimeter fans, two 120 millimeter fans, and or 140 millimeter and one 120 millimeter fan. So I have not tested the whether or not I could actually fit two 140 millimeter fans on the top. I originally thought you could, but I'm not really sure. I'm going to pull out one of my dead silent fans to test that theory out. So I'll be right back and I'll test the theory out real quick. Alrighty people, I got my Aerocool white dead silent fan. So fitting it, yeah, it obviously will not fit there. So you have to use either one 120 millimeter fan here and a 140 millimeter fan, or two 120 millimeter fans on both of those. But if you choose to, you can mount these kind of fans underneath this bracket. You can mount two 140 millimeters or two 120 millimeter fans if you mount it underneath the bracket. But for the best airflow, you might need to remove the you have to remove the the 5 1/4 inch bay, and it's a very, very tight squeeze when you try to put this kind of fan inside of the top cage, which what I was planning on doing. Unfortunately, this barely clears the mounting lock, and I don't know if the fan will be able to run because this thing almost sticks pretty close to the fan blades itself. Let me see if they actually close with this. Let's see if they can close. So it looks like it has some issues closing, so that's a bad thing, unfortunately. So my dead silent fans may not work very well in this enclosure, and I may actually have to figure out how to fix it. Maybe I can modify it in such a way where I could maybe fit it. And unfortunately, it does not tell you what the fan clearance is to fit fans up here, so you might want to be careful with that. So unfortunately, these dead silent fans do not fit on the top brackets. Maybe I can try to fit that at the bottom part. Will probably most likely work in this case. Alrighty. Well, I'm really disappointed about that. Well, at least that I may actually not have to get a fan right here, so I may have to mount that dead silent fan underneath, which is okay. At least it'll save me money by not getting another one of those fans. Alrighty, anyway, let's go ahead and check this case out. So, the case is held together by these thumb screws, which you have to undo, and I'm going to go ahead and lower this camera down a little bit more so you guys can see it a little bit easier. So you just unscrew these fan screws, I'm sorry, thumb screws, and well, they're actually pretty easy to unhook. Luckily, the Aerocool does not really tighten them down like most manufacturers do with their cases, so you just kind of slide it off and it comes right down. And that's the inside of the case. And USB 3 port, much smaller than I actually thought it would. There's the exhaust fan back here, which takes one of these plugs. And here's a USB 2.0 port, which is, there's only one in here. That's for both the for both two USBs on the top. This is the USB 2.0 port and the USB 3.0 port. Here's the wires for connecting to the case. This is the HD audio, which is the audio jacks on the top. That's the power switch. This one's power LED. This one's hard drive LED. And this one's the reset switch. So that's nice. And right back here is the plug for the front intake fan. So it's nice and big right there. And so one of the drive cages contain a box. I guess it's the accessory box that comes in the case. So It's a little It's contained in the bottom drive bay, in the bottom of the drive cage. Bottom drive cage in this system. So, just has a little bit of tape on it, keeping it shut, as typical for most cases. So, pulling that off reveals little accessories it comes with. Right here we have a USB 3 header to USB 2 converter in case you have an older motherboard that does not support USB 3 yet. And there's the bag for the screws. Lots of zip ties for cable management. There's a little piezo speaker in there, a piezo beeper for post boop beeps and stuff. I'm going to be using the speaker that came out of my father's old PC instead of the one that comes with this thing. So, that's what's inside this thing. Alrighty, let me show you. The front intake can carry 200mm fan, a 120mm fan, or a 140mm fan. And the back case can handle either a 120mm fan or a 140mm fan. And the back fan, there's already a 120mm fan included for the back, and a 200mm fan on the front already included. So that's a nice touch. Power supplies are recommended size is less than or equal to 160mm, so be mindful. I suggest you guys buy a modular power supply so it won't be too messy in here. There's your 5 1/4 inch bay and 3 1/2 inch bays. There's the 2 hard drive bays, 2 3 1/2 inch bays, which also can accommodate 2 2 1/2 inch hard drives or solid state drives. And to put the hard drive in, you just pull this apart and you stick your hard drive in, you close it, put it in the little slot. And there's screw holes on the back for mounting a 2 1/2 inch drive manually. Fortunately, it does not. The 2 1/2 inch mounting does not use this pull apart feature. In fact, you actually have to keep it closed to put it in. So, yeah. Alrighty, what else is there? The power, all the fans in here have the ability to use a 4-pin mOLEX connector or a 3-pin fan plug. None of these fans are PWM fans, so they're not adjusted for speed in order for it to keep up with cooling the thing down. So back here, there's a 4 PCI brackets, and you just twist this screw to lift them up, so you can pull out the different brackets and put in a PCI bracket, and you just put in another one. You just swap your bracket out for some card or something, just push it down and tighten it, and all your cards will stay tight and will not move around. Going to the other side, this side is also sealed by a couple of thumb screws, which can be removed pretty simply, and this should open up the case and reveal the back of the case. And the back of the case is kind of well, it's the back of the case. And back here, you have there's your way hole for throwing wires into here, so you can plug in your hard drives. There's the 2 1/2 inch bay for putting in separate 2 1/2 inch hard drives. They use special shock absorbing thingies that you mount onto the 2 1/2 inch drive, and you just slide it in there. Clicks into place with these, and then when you want to pull it out, you just lift this tab and pull your 2 1/2 inch drive out. And yeah, so that's it. It looks like the motherboard already has the mini ITX screws already screwed in, so that's good. So going to the front, we have one 5 1/4 inch bay slot and a 3 1/2 inch bay slot, perfect for a disk drive or a fan control or a small fan control down here, floppy drive, or some sort of device, or a USB card reader, which I'm going to be using. So I suggest when you get a device of anything, you have a black cover on it so it'll blend with the case's exterior, because I don't think they make they don't make CD drives with this kind of color on it. overview pretty much so far. I like the case. I like the way it looks. I am disappointed that my dead silent fans do not fit on the top of the bracket, which is very unfortunate, and that is kind of irritating. Yeah. But I have the case, and, well, I'm going to have to deal with it. I don't mind it so much. I can always mount it on the bottom. I just cannot have two 140mm fans unless I actually decide to not use the 5 1/4 inch bay. But that other box has a DVD drive in it, and I already bought it, and I'm planning to use it no matter what. So, one last thing before we go. There actually is rubber grommets in the back for flowing holes or like a water cooling system through the back of the case. So there's those grommets. By the way, there are no rubber grommets inside the case for flowing wires through them. So there is a little hole for a mini ITX board and then a hole for micro ATX. You may not see that, but so mini ITX hole and a micro ATX hole. Alrighty. So pulling off the top, I'm assuming pretty easy. I don't think it's that hard. I just got, oh, there was, that's just simple. So it looks like this thing's kind of a little stuck. Alrighty, I guess I'm gonna have to do some special wire removal through these holes to get them to come out. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Alright, you know what? I know how hard it'll be to pull it out. So, how am I going to lift this? Alright, just move the camera right here. And I'll show you guys what's underneath, because it's not easy to pull those things out unless I undo the wiring thing. So this is right here, can mount a radiator. I'm not sure what kind of radiator, but it can mount a radiator up here, and yeah, it can mount all sorts of things up here. As I heard, this case is actually very good with water cooling due to the size of these brackets up here. So nothing much to see up here, pretty much just holes to run those front panel power switch and whatnot through these holes. One thing though I to note, when you guys buy a fan for this kind of case, make sure to buy a slimline fan if you decide to, because right now you can't fit a full, so dead silent fans will not fit at all through on the top of this case unless I can figure out how to do it while I have it. So putting it back here, I'm going to reveal another feature you can do, which is removing the front panel, which is not hard to do, I don't think. Just go underneath and just pop the front off. Alrighty. Hold on. Let me pop the whole thing back on here, and then I'll tip it on its back. Whoa, jeez Louise. Alrighty. Alrighty. Don't ever do that. That's a very tight, sturdy case, so be careful when you pull that off. Nothing really to see here. There is the intake fan right here, and there's the 3.5 inch and the 5 1/4 inch bays. There is no fan grill. I'm sorry, no fan filter right here. I guess you can just buy your own that you can stick on the front of it, like a magnetic one. Not that hard to get. You can get them on Amazon for a few bucks, depending on what the heck they are. There are intake holes on the front right here, and on the top also as well. So there is also no fan, no filter on the back for filtering out dust. So again, you can buy a magnet thing. You could just stick on the back of it if you want to. And before I go, there's also the there is actually what is it? A filter for the power supply fan. Just stick it right in here. I suggest when you put in your power supply, you might have to well, you guys gonna have to stick with the fan down. So unless you can flip it upside down and stick it upside down. It's just there is no hole on the top for passing the heat through. So I suggest you don't do that unless you really do want to. It could choke your power supply's fan and potentially kill it. Alright people, this is my unboxing for the Aerocool Dead Silent Green fan. Thank you for watching, and again, if I've missed anything that I forgot to cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment below for it. And also, if you just have a plain old question to ask me, you can again leave a comment below and I'll try to respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I unbox the DVD drive and the USB header extension for the fan. I'm sorry, not for the fan, but for in the next video. So I'll see you guys later, and thank you for watching.